That's what I'm saying. Do you think I could have trillions of dollars in debt?
No,
like, why? Because I don't have subjects below me that are going to pay it for me. That's the reason I can't.
You have to have children. I have subjects.
So you could be trillions of dollars.
You have to make your own people and rule them.
Then you can have trillions of dollars in debt. I was trying to figure out how to do it because I could do a lot with $1 trillion. Dude, think about how much shit I could do. Welcome to episode 57 of the Whiskey and Whitetails podcast. Today's January the 24th of 2022.
It is.
And we are your hosts. I'm Matt.
I'm Gus.
If this is your first time here, welcome. Check us out. See what you think. We've got some videos on there. We're also working on some other great content that's going to be coming up here soon. And if you're returning, you know we always say it. We love you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for coming back. You can go to our shop, as always, whiskeyandwhitetails.com. Use code podcast, save 20% on any of our beautifully handmade products. We got some more calls coming, a little bit of stuff out of stock. We also put Glencairn's glass in there, and we have a few hoodies left, not many. Only in large and extra large. And
we have barrels.
Yeah, if you're local to the area.
If you're local to the Charleston area, we have barrels in stock. I don't recall what brand.
I think most of them are Jim Beam. It doesn't really matter.
Jim Beam.
They're whiskey barrels.
They're whiskey barrels, bourbon barrels. You can buy those on our shop online at whiskeyandwhitetails.com and use code BARREL to remove the shipping costs. And then we will get in contact with you and arrange delivery locally within about 30 miles of the downtown Charleston area.
Yes.
If it turns out that it's exceedingly further than that, we're just going to cancel the order because it's not worth our time.
Or you can meet us.
Or you can meet us halfway and we can figure it out.
Charleston. Yep. But yeah, we do free delivery in the Charleston area, 30 miles from downtown.
And just a couple weeks away is Valentine's Day. So if you want to make sure you're getting any Whiskey and Whitetail products in the mail in time for Valentine's Day, you need to start getting those orders in soon.
And one thing we've noticed with our analytics is that we can see what's changing on like the YouTube page. So like last night, which cocktail smoker should you buy? That video started picking up again, getting more views.
People are looking for doing their research on products. So
on what's next.
Correct.
And right now our prices are lower than they were at Christmas. Brought it back down.
That's supply and demand, folks.
Yep. Supply goes up, price goes up, but we should be good for Valentine's Day. I don't think we'll be in danger of selling out.
I hope not, because I'm trying to get inventory built up for Seawee.
Yep.
So I need some slow weekends so I can build this up. Is that it for announcements?
I think so. I think we're just ready to start the show.
Let's do it.
Okay. Welcome. Oh, we already started the show. So this episode we're going to do for this Powered By segment, we got another one. It's so those that don't know, I'm not a huge fan of Willett. I do like the Willett Rye. The pot still was on our list of worst whiskey of 2021. And almost everything else that they make, you wrote down a list of, so I will say Old Bardstown, I do like. So there's one thing. But the Willett Family Estate, not bad. Pot still, no. Kentucky Vintage, no. Noah's Mill, no. Black Maple Hill, we used to like it, but the new stuff,
not so much.
No.
I haven't had it yet.
Rowan's Creek, no.
I never even heard of Rowan's Creek.
It usually sits right next to the Noah's Mill. If you see Noah's Mill, Rowan's Creek, we sit right next to it.
Ah, okay. So I'm paying attention.
Yeah, it's not that great. But this Jonny Drum, I had once a while ago. And I remember not liking it, but I bought it anyway. So this is the private stock. This is important to note. This is 50.5% alcohol, which makes it 101 proof. And that is the reason that I'd never really bought it again, because if we're drinking 101, what am I drinking?
Wild Turkey.
Wild Turkey. So this sits at a higher price point than Wild Turkey, about 35 to 50-ish. But I have seen it 60, 70 bucks some places. But anyway, the top used to be screw-on. I'm wondering if it still is. I hate these things. They always get inside my nail.
The little tab and it pokes it underneath of your nail. Looks like they upgraded it.
Looks like it's a cork. Good job, Willett. All right, so let's get this thing about. You're not bad. Synthetic cork. It's okay. smells.
Can't all be winners.
Smells okay. I'm going to wait for these glasses. So we're going to do these two different ways. We're going to first have it through a Glencairn. See what we think. And then after that, we're going to try it smoked. Maybe add some water to it if that's what needs to happen. We'll see. But if you haven't been down the Willett train, okay. It's bound to happen, right? So this is Kentucky straight bourbon, which means it's exactly what it has to be Kentucky bourbon with no age statement, except when you add straight, it's now a minimum of 2 years instead of 4. So this could be 2 years old. It could be, the black label I think is 12 years.
Really?
So I doubt it's anywhere near that.
This doesn't look anywhere near 4 years old.
Yeah, it does not look, it looks like it might be on that lower tier there. It doesn't smell that bad, to be honest. So we're going to talk a little bit about Willett.
The distillery.
Yeah.
Talk to me about it. We have founded in 1936.
Yes.
Headquartered in Bardstown, correct? Just outside. Started off as the Willett family farm. They had an operation, just a farming operation there, and it blossomed into the distillery.
As most did. This one's privately owned by the Colsveen family.
Okay.
Which is interesting, but it's also known as the Kentucky Bourbon Distillers, LTD, which is what is labeled on this Jonny Drum.
And they didn't actually distill liquor for a long time, from like sometime in the 1980s to the mid 2000s, right?
They did a lot of contract distilling.
Yeah.
Yep. Back in the day. But they bottle all kinds of stuff, ranging from 2 years, which is probably what this is, up to, I guess, 28 years was what you found?
Yep, 28, up to 28.
Longest one they ever made. So it's, a lot of people like Willett. We know people personally that like Willett. We know people like pot still.
I saw pot still listed on somebody's best whiskeys of 2021.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was his name Kyle Yelton?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Because he loves it. He drinks it all the time.
Really? It's like a go-to for him, huh?
Yeah. Every time he sends me a picture, he's like, picked up another pot still today, too.
It's not my jam, man.
I feel sorry for his palate.
Yeah. Just not a fan.
No.
And I wasn't a fan when I tried it, and I was looking at the bottle and I tried it for the first time. I remember not liking it. And then again, when we did the blind, without knowing what it was, I still didn't like it. It just reaffirmed it for me.
Yep. The bottle's really cool. Which is one thing they screwed up on here, which is one of the points that I had, is it's a very obscure label. So it just says Jonny Drum, private stock, 50.5% volume, Willett Distillery, Bardstown, Kentucky. Kentucky bourbon, straight Kentucky bourbon whiskey. And it's got some shit on the side. But if you're looking at this bottle on a shelf, nothing about it really stands up and goes, hey, I want to buy that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were aiming at exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty basic. It's there's a lot of stuff that it sits there in that price range that looks a lot more appealing. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just not a big fan of the orange. I don't know, the orange and the red, and there's just a lot going on. But
it's definitely a unique bottle. Makes me wonder if these colors don't somehow play a trick on the eye to make the whiskey look darker than it is.
It's very possible. There's a lot of money in marketing. The inside of the labels are pretty dark too, so that's probably has something to do with it.
Something to think about.
But overall, last time I had it, I wasn't overly satisfied with it. But I will say this time it smells rather different than I remember.
I don't recall if I've had this before. So I don't have a preconceived idea that I'm going off of.
What's the first thing you smell?
Tobacco.
Yeah.
And like, when I say tobacco, I mean like I opened up a can of Skull tobacco.
Yeah. Like dip tobacco, not tobacco leaf. Not cigar.
No, I mean, I get notes of like leather cigar type stuff. Like it reminds me of of kind of a cigar shop, or sitting around smoking cigar outside. People are smoking cigarettes. You kind of get a little bit of everything in terms
like
of
that smoky tobacco-ish.
Yeah, but not necessarily in an unpleasant way, if that makes sense.
There are lots of legs.
Yeah, there are. Goodness.
I mean, it's a ton. That's interesting. So I get sour apple. It's very, very fruit forward for me.
I can see candy apple in there, sour apple as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
I'm
see
getting
that.
a lot of fruit.
The ethanol, though, is
Yeah, it's pretty
also
heavy.
still heavy on that.
Which is interesting for a 101. You know something, too? This bachelor party I was at, I brought Mike down a bottle of Weller, which he had no idea what it was. So that was a waste.
That's good.
And we were just kind of going through stuff that I like. And they were like, ooh, 100 proof? That's high proof stuff. And it's like when someone says that, then you're like, oh, okay, you don't drink whiskey.
Yeah.
But the Weller, he was like, before we leave, let's take a shot. I was like, well, this is, never mind. Let's take a shot. I wanted to be like, no, dude, this is, you sip this.
Yeah.
But we ended up taking shots of Weller before we drowned our miseries in Bush Light and
Regret?
Yeah. It was a wild weekend. It was very different. I told you offline, like the whole story, and I wish I could say some of it here, but I can't. As you know.
I wouldn't repeat any of that either.
Yeah. It was interesting. It's a fun experience, though. I had a really good time, especially the last day. We had a lot of fun.
That's good. At least it ended on a good note.
Yeah. Anyway, so sour apple, Loke, let's take a sip. And there's that Willett flavor I don't like. You know what I do get a little bit of is, you ever had cardamom? Mm-mm. So in Afghanistan, with the green teas, they put a lot of cardamom in them. And so much so that when I came home from Afghanistan, I ordered a bag of it just to put it in my tea because it's such a good flavor, right? And I think I made it for the wife. Mm-hmm. It's like, try this tea with cardamom and it's really good. A little bit of milk maybe. And then I don't think I ever made another one. But over there, you drink tea like all the time.
I don't even know what it is. What is that?
Cardamom's like a seed, I think. I don't know. It's a spice.
Oh, okay.
It's but it has.
Oh, I think I can. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Like I think they use it a lot in Indian dishes. Mm-hmm. It's just like a clay colored kind of dust.
Okay. Yeah.
But the fresh cardamom seeds are really good. You just crack them and throw them in the tea.
Cool.
I believe they're seeds. It could be nuts. I don't know what they are. They come from a plant.
But they were good.
Yeah.
Clearly.
But I taste some of that on here.
Interesting.
And like we always try to do, what does it remind you of? Does it remind you of anything?
So I get same thing on the nose, but
it's heated. It's a lot hotter. It's very rye forward.
It is. It doesn't drink like 101.
And they don't give you the mash bill. I think this is a high rye mash bill. You know what?
But you can find it.
No, you can't. But I just had because I was trying to find it, but I just had an idea. I did find a Willett Distillery mash bill. They don't necessarily say what goes in what because they're kind of quiet about it.
Yeah.
But they have, let's see. We'll just do their rye mash bills. Wow. Okay. That didn't help at all. But their high rye mash bill. Oh, that's entry proof. Never mind. So their high rye mash bill, they have a 52, 38, 10, which I'm guessing would be corn, rye, then barley. Yeah, because they're all the same. So 52, 38, 10, 11, 74, 15, 34, 51, 15. So I do get a lot of corn, but I get a lot more rye than I do corn, I think. So this could be, no, that's all it is. It's 52, 38, 10. After just going through these and looking at them and what they're labeled as, 1174 couldn't be a bourbon. Neither could 3451. So according to this website, they're, if it's a rye, it would be 52, 38, 10. 52 corn, 38 rye, 10% malted barley. Unless it's something custom.
Interesting.
But that's just what Willett has in there. I'm sure that they pulled that from the TTP or something. But yeah, I don't think I'm a huge fan of that. It's pretty oily. I do get the tobacco leaf on the end there and some pine maybe. On the exhale, I get some mint.
I was going to say cinnamon, but mint too, I guess. Like just I don't know, something on there. But it reminds me of, like I get hints of like biscuits, like the like shortbread cookies that have like the fruit filling in the middle. You know what I'm talking about on the top, like citrusy though. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to explain it. Like it makes me think of biscuits and orange marmalade,
like some kind of meal, like not quite like cornmeal, but like an obscure grain meal, like ground up and they made biscuits out of it. And then they put
yeah.
fruit in it.
Yeah, like almonds or nuts or something.
like almond powder. What's it called? Almond.
Well, there's almond meal.
Oh, yeah.
There's almond meal.
Almond meal, maybe some fruit on top. And I think that's about as far as I feel like going into it. But I would like to try it again smoked with water. Yeah? I feel like we don't smoke enough here. What do you think?
There's no smoking in this establishment.
Yeah, we're not allowed to, but we're going to do it anyway. I know they saw the last video and they didn't say anything. And so for those just listening, this is our Whiskey and Whitetails smoker kit. These are made out of bourbon barrels that we repurpose right here in Charleston, South Carolina.
We make our smoked cocktail kits. They are convenient and easy to pack. Take along with you on a hunting trip or store in your kitchen, your man cave, your bar.
Unlike most burger kits that come with a top and a strainer and another top and wood chips and all this other stuff, ours is just simply this block and a torch, and then you just put your glass on top of it, and you.
And rather than or reheating and firing up obscure wood, you know for sure and with some certainty, because you can see how we make them, that they come directly from a whiskey barrel.
Yep.
So the wood you're smoking has already been a part of the whiskey making process, and add some really good, unique flavors.
It's super interesting what it does for sure. And I'm going to wait on the water, but I want to try it just smoked and then put a couple drops of water in it. Okay. And we've talked about it before, but it has been a while since we've discussed it. The water that we recommend you use is limestone water. Limestone water, it bonds differently with the alcohol, where if you just use hard water, it actually makes it taste watered down. But limestone water will bond with the water molecules and create it's kind of like how they proof it down, more or less. That's why they say limestone water is the best kind of water. Dude, I'm excited for our executive bourbon steward class.
I am also excited. I hope that it's hands-on.
It is. We get to distill as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's super cool. Based on pictures, it looked like there were maybe some blending and measuring, like some science, project type stuff. Maybe think of being in science class.
No.
But if we get to distill, that'd be fun.
I think they run us through each step.
Yeah.
So instead of waiting, it's like, this one's ready to go. This is the beginning. This is the middle.
Gotcha.
This is the end.
That's how they put it into the time frame they have.
I think it'd be a lot of fun, but I also think that we should reach out to them about maybe doing a podcast over there.
Okay. Some fun stuff floating in there. What's the over-under on you washing these out before you brought them in?
They came straight from my bar. So they were definitely clean. And it needs water. Something about it airing out that much.
Does need water?
Yeah. It's just the ethanol is way too much in it. The smoke helps some, but it definitely changes the flavor. My turn. All right. What else we got on the agenda today?
We got a plug of the week. If you want to go into that, we have some other fun stuff to talk about. Whatever you want to do.
Let's go ahead and I don't know. Let's talk about something else. Let's do the plug in a bit. Well,
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, well,
I got my random fact. We can do that.
No. I was just saying, let's go ahead and do the plug because it's actually a lot of conversation.
Okay.
So let's run it.
It's time for the plug of the week.
That's right. And this week's plug of the week is the White Oak Initiative. You're familiar, I'm familiar, but for those that aren't, we're going to start in the very beginning. The White Oak Initiative, what they are trying to do is extend and kind of fix the problems with white oak trees. And why is that important? What does that have to do with us? So bourbon is put into brand new charred oak barrels that are white American oak. All these barrels sit behind us here, white American oak, our smoker kits, everything we make is made out of this wood. So it takes between 60 and 80 years for a white American oak tree to grow to the point that it can be harvested and turned into this. And they estimate right now we have between 10 and 15 years of trees left.
What?
It's bad.
Well, that's not good.
Really bad. Like, real bad. And the reason why is because of land conservation. Over conservation. Meaning, nobody goes in there and tends to these lands. They just let them run. And so back in the day when we used to strip mine and do all these things, we would set the woods on fire. and then come in there and work once everything was burned down. And that was beneficial to these white oak trees. So these little oak saplings, you know how small they are and how big the leaves are?
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
seen them. They can't get sunlight.
Yeah.
And then these birch trees, other trees, they outgrow them and
Right.
they shade them out. They can't get any sunlight and they
Right.
die. And so and like Jacob would have been a good guy to have on for this. I just, we had another thing planned today that we're not even going to mention it because we're disgusted. But
Yeah.
so we're kind of like throwing some of these things, but this has been something that's come up a lot. And if you go to their website, they show financial supporters.
Yes.
Who do you think the vast majority of those are?
Well, I just happened to take a peek,
Oh, good.
and there are, just to name a few so you can get a feel for who finds this important, NWTF, Sazerac,
Brown Foreman,
Brown Foreman,
Old Forester.
Old Forester. There were a couple of other conservation, like wildlife conservation groups that understand the importance. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, and I won't get on a
There were
soapbox, but
several states that wanted to back this.
yes, any conservation effort is a help generally for other conservation efforts,
Yeah.
right? A lot of those organizations, the Forestry Service and other folks, they all have conservation efforts. And anytime an initiative like this gets behind an idea that can help support a species specifically, it helps everybody involved. And any win in one conservation area allows for other groups to use it as a basis for their what they're trying to accomplish. And right now, with all the attacks on all the things that we have going on with related to outdoors hunting and things like that, anything that we can do to help preserve any of that, even if it's just the land itself and the trees, I think it needs to happen, especially with 10 to 15 years left. That's wild.
Yeah, and it's that's the thing that I read conflicting about it was they said there's 10 to 15 years of trees left, meaning, and I think that means if we don't do anything. So I'm guessing there's trees that are on the way up.
Yeah.
It tastes better with water.
Yeah, it does.
Way better.
Yeah, way better.
You get more of that caramel out of it, and the like vanilla or like caramel drizzle maybe.
Vanilla, yeah.
But I think that there's trees that are like the 15 to 20 year trees,
Yeah.
and then the 20 to 30 year trees. I think those trees exist.
Yeah.
It's just if we do nothing, those trees are going to die out, and I think they're going to get shaded out.
And they're also, I think one of the points they're making is that a lot of these trees are not thriving in the areas they are because that land is under conservation. But to your point, there's the potential for over conservation where no management is allowed, no human intervention is allowed, with the exception of natural things like wildfires and lightning.
Yep.
Which those things can be controlled and prevented with good management.
Sure. And it's they were saying the saplings, and then like, I don't know how trees work really, but the offshoots that come off the trees, they're basically none. Like in this one area that they studied, which that could be, we've talked about it several times, lying with statistics. They could be picking an area that's the worst and then portraying the whole thing. But to be honest, I don't see the only reason that they would do that is in order to make it seem like a dire situation so we can get on it
Get more
ASAP.
support. Yeah.
But I don't know. The only other downside I saw was there was, I guess the lead arborist is from University of Ohio. I was like, ugh.
Gross.
Ugh. But outside of that, there's a lot of states that surround Kentucky that are involved.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people involved. But it's something that's for real should be paid attention to. And if you like whiskey, if you like bourbon, donating a little bit of money to this organization might be beneficial. Because if we run out of oak trees, the rules change. Either they change the rules and the alcohol rules, or there just will no longer be bourbon because they have to go in brand new charred oak barrels. I mean, we have to have a new barrel for every barrel of whiskey made to make it bourbon.
Is this all oaks or just white oaks? It's the White Oak Initiative, right? Is it just the white oaks that are in danger?
That's the main thing they're looking at. Okay. And I'm sure that this initiative was spun up off of the bourbon industry or the whiskey industry. I doubt it's...
Think so?
Yeah, I just don't see it being a bunch of people that... I think that what they're doing is they're looking at, we're good, right? But our kids, or maybe the cooperages are like, hey, we're having a hard time getting this wood.
Yeah.
And then maybe the loggers are saying, hey, we're running out of this wood. I don't know what point in the chain that it was picked up on.
That'd be an interesting conversation to have maybe with somebody from that organization. I bet they'd be happy to talk to us.
Absolutely, to get their message out.
Yeah, we should look into that.
Yeah, let's write that down. You write it down. We got to reach out to the White Oak Initiative and get one of those people on here. Because we could be saying it all wrong.
Yeah,
It was just
maybe.
the plug. I had the plug, and then like the little bit of notes I jotted down.
It's interesting. It's interesting to see all the different organizations when you look on the list, because they're different industries, different backgrounds. But to realize that they all have a significant, I don't know if reliance is the right word, but they all have a significant relationship with the white oak and with the woods in general. So it's just interesting to see people from different organizations coming together for one cause. In conservation, that doesn't happen a lot.
Well, because I see everything. After going to that Scrum Master school, I see everything in agile framework. I see everything in this to-do dependencies, relationships with other things. And one of the big things is looking at a project. Like, I have to do this project. In order to do that, I am reliant on these things.
Right.
And I think it's just smart business to track those things.
Sure.
I need to make sure I have this by then. And then I start noticing trends where last week we had 1,000 trees. This week we only have 800. You know, why are we short 200 trees? Like, well, that's all we can get.
That's all.
Well, let's figure out why. So now I'm putting in place this initiative. We spin up a new company, new contract to go out and fix the problem that the loggers are having or the landowners are having or whatever. And I think that's probably what they're doing. But yeah, they're all dependent on each other. Therefore, they benefit from each other by playing nice.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think of all the initiatives or foundations or charities and stuff, a lot of the ones that we see are just crazy. But I think this one, I think there's enough involved, definitely enough money involved, that I think that they'll probably fix it. If not, you want to be rich in 20 years, start saving all your bourbon.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just junk bourbon will be expensive in 20 years.
Yeah, no kidding.
If this happens.
Buy a bunch of, I won't say names.
How about cases of Jim Beam White?
Yeah.
Just stack it up in the garage.
Probably should do that anyways.
Yeah. Just to have. That'd be funny too if I drank every bottle in my bar and just replaced it with a bottle of Jim Beam White.
All of it?
Yeah. And
like
you come in my
70
house
bottles?
And it's like, I have like 280 open, or 200. I have 280 bottles. I have I think I have 160 open bottles right now. I've been working through my stock. I've also been giving, Christmas time, I give whiskey gifts.
Yeah.
So I've been giving stuff away left and right.
You should just replace them all with Jim Beam White. Different sizes, different. Yeah.
No, get them all the same size. That way when you come to the bar and you're like, Jesus. Like, that's, what's funny is people come into the bar and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like, if I had a drinking problem, I wouldn't have this many open bottles that are halfway, three-quarters gone.
Right.
But if you came in and all I had was cases of Jim Beam, like, this guy has an issue.
Yes.
Yeah. That would be scary. I think I'd rather have the bottle and bond, I think.
Evan Williams?
No, the Early Times.
Oh, Early Times, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it's their
cheaper,
a full liter instead of 750s.
Right. It's good money. It's a good exchange.
Yeah. That was all I had for the plug of the week.
Okay.
But I did want to talk about, we're going to have more guests on. And we're going to start with some of our hunting friends, kind of just figure out what the hunting season was like.
Yeah.
But before we do that, what were your lessons learned from hunting this year?
My lessons learned from hunting this year. Well, I need to do 3 things this upcoming year. I need to plan better, be more deliberate in planning hunts, like making time specifically to hunt at these times. This company and work and family are too busy for me to rely on, I'll just go when I get a free weekend. Yep. I don't get free weekends anymore.
I don't either. I haven't had one in a while.
The kids are getting busier with activities. Like the weekend at Seawee, it sucks. Gavin's going on a ski trip. The whole scout troop is, and I'm going to stay back. That would have been fun to go do, but duty calls, right? We had Seawee planned long before they picked that date, and that's just the way. So being more deliberate in planning hunts, and hunts out of state too, Kentucky, some other places. I want to do more of that.
Well, like our spot in North Carolina, nobody hunted it this year at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even him?
No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a reason?
I think it's just getting old.
Yeah.
He killed a coyote.
Okay.
On his back porch, but I think that's it.
All right. Well, it's good to know. I'll go up there, and if he's not going to hunt it, I'll go up there and once a year and put some stuff out and manage it a little bit and to have a place to hunt.
That's the other thing too, man, is all the places we have too many property, which I never thought we'd say this, but we have too many places to hunt now because it's too much. Like there's no way I'm coming back to the club. It's not happening.
Yeah.
I don't have time to go those work days that they do. I need to do one in Kentucky. I need to do one in North Carolina. I need to do one in Wyoming. Where's she from? Iowa. But it's like, I think I may be getting into the point in my life where I pay for hunts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just pay an outfitter to take me and put me in on their property. I think it's, other than, the normal stuff that we do like on public land. Like if we do a public land weekend, we just go camp in the woods and have a good time. But I think that I'm going to go hunt in Ridgeville.
Yeah.
The same spot. Because if you look at it, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people pay for hunts or they hunt public land.
Yeah, a lot of them do. A lot of them have clubs that have a little bit more flexibility with what you can do on the club and less members too.
Yeah.
I have kids that are interested in hunting that I have to teach.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
It's different for me. Like I need to that's a very short, convenient place that I know I don't have to compete with too many people.
Sure.
So that's an opportunity for me to take them out there safely and have a convenient place to do it. But public land I'd like to do more of. And then just the out-of-state stuff, I agree. We've got to, those are work days that we've discussed doing with those people in exchange for being able to hunt there.
Yeah.
And if we hunt another year there without doing that, I'm going to feel kind of like,
Yeah.
So that's definitely a goal. You said goal. No, you said lessons learned. So being more deliberate with planning.
Yep.
I also think preparation. I didn't prepare as well this year. Again, we just got busy. I just need to plan and prepare better.
Yeah.
I think is the biggest thing. I only got to hunt a handful of times. We traveled a bunch. Didn't get to get out in the woods with my kids as much as I would have liked. I hope we'll do some more of that with turkey season this year.
I think we should do a turkey hunt up in Kentucky at some point because that place is like guaranteed success.
There's a lot of turkeys up there.
There's a shit ton of turkeys.
Yeah.
Especially in that property.
Yeah.
There's so many turkeys there. You can drive down the road and see a knoll just filled with turkeys.
Mm-hmm.
And you could come in behind them on a different knoll and just sit there and then call. And I think they would just bum rush the hill like it was like the Patriot. You're just sitting there with a gun and a turkey.
Just here you take on the redcoats.
Yeah. And then there's all these birds just come over the hill and you start blasting.
Hearing a pattern. It's just the flock of turkeys running over the hill.
I think that's exactly what would happen. You could just line up. We should do that. Line up like Revolutionary War soldiers. There's all of us just line up, aim at the hill, and then when they come over that hill, we just
start blasting.
Yeah. And then
I'd start blasting.
Yeah, that's a good meme. You turn me on that meme.
It's fun. It has a lot of that was very insignificant.
Yeah, it was pretty weak. Oh, it's because it didn't even open because the top's broken. There we go. Yeah, Miami Cola. You asked? I don't know. I mean, I think I know what Miami Cola is, but I don't think it's a bang. But this bang is called Miami Cola.
So
like
Miami
if you
Cola,
were to guess what Miami Cola was.
It was like cola you add a little something else into? A little closer to the original recipe?
Yeah, I think it was just something.
Okay.
That may be what it is. Maybe you take Coca-Cola and you put the Coke back in it. And that's what makes Miami Cola. I don't know. It tastes like cola, kind of.
Someone somewhere is going, that's not what a Miami Cola is. It's a...
Nobody knows. Nobody's from Miami. Soda masquerading it's a high sugar. It's not your stereotypical. I have no idea, dude. I'm not even going to deal with it.
Okay.
It's pretty good, though. It gives me energy. Turbo puns.
What? Turbo puns?
You remember that video?
Yeah.
Man, I can't remember what it's called. It's like that energy video. It was back in the day. And it was like, energy. Like, you'll have so much energy.
I don't remember.
Like, banana, fizz bitch. These are the flavors you could get it in. Instead of banana, it was banana. And gun. They had a flavor called gun.
Was this from like an SNL skit or something?
No, it was on YouTube. It was like,
oh, man.
It was like that Ranger Up video. Like the Ranger Up video it was called something promo. I can't remember what it's called, but the Ranger Up video was a retake of that.
Oh, I did not know that.
It was hilarious. I would play it, but last time we played something like that, we
got a little ding on our account.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was the, whatever. Walk Down Me on the Walkway. It was that one. We got a ding for that. Apparently it's super copyrighted. Who would have known? I mean, it makes sense.
Whose video is that?
Not my video.
Not video, no way. Jeez. Yeah, that sucks. Oh well.
I think my lessons learned will probably be the same.
Yeah.
Plan better. I think it's just we have too many options and we don't know what to pick. And then before you know it, the weekends fill up. So like I want to sit down and plan our hunting trips now.
Yeah, we need to.
That way we know what we're doing, and we don't necessarily have to go to because like when we go to the Bourbon Steward class, I'm going on a turkey hunt afterwards. You got to come back.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I should have burped into the mic. Sorry, guys.
Are you going to hunt, or are you going with the intention to film?
I'm going to hunt.
I want you to hunt.
Yeah, I'm going to hunt.
Is Rocco going to take you?
Yeah, Rocco.
He's going to call for you and everything?
Well, I mean, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
You should go. It's a lot different than.
Because I told him, I was like,
hunting.
let me go and I'll film you. And he was like, no, just we're going to go hunting.
Yeah.
Which is good. Rocco, it's like, for everybody that we film for, we appreciate it when you go, hey, no, not this time. This time, it's for us.
Because when we travel and we go places, we go there with the understanding that hunting for us is secondary.
Yeah.
And we're there to help. Because a lot of times we get invited to go, like with Rocco and WL Lessons organizations, we're there to help them with some production to help with their organization.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a priority for us. And so it is nice, and we appreciate when they're like, hey, you know what, this time.
Well, they put us in a tree, and we still try to film in the tree and all that stuff. We have something to bring back. But
Sure.
But yeah, this time I don't think we're going to film anything. It also eliminates me bringing all the camera gear because we're flying.
Yeah, that's true.
But the other thing, too, is now I wouldn't be able to leave it there because I can't go back. But I am going to buy...
ship it there and then ship it back if you want to.
I think I'm going to buy a shotgun and some hunting gear to leave there.
Yeah, so we need to... I don't want to do it on the podcast, but I still have an idea we haven't talked about probably for later this year in terms of ways to donate and sort of give back. I have a cool idea for that.
Okay.
But I don't want to say it on here because it involves Tijuana.
Drugs.
Yes, getting some things from Canada that have, and then some things from. I'm just kidding. It doesn't.
We can't share our cartel.
It doesn't include any of that.
Our cartel members would not be
some
happy
sketchy
about that.
black boat rides. Yeah. From Florida to.
Well, I learned how to radar work. Oh, check this out.
Okay, I'm checking.
This is gonna. I don't know. All right, a lot of you don't know what I do for a living, but I did RF theory school, so like radio frequencies and things of that nature are a building block of where I'm at in the IT world. So did you see the 5G rollout and the airplane thing?
Dude, a lot of you don't know a lot about what I do at work.
Yeah.
You do. We are in the middle of I'm just going to say we're in the middle of a project that is designed to identify and address that issue. It should not have gotten to this point.
Well, I'm going to tell you something.
Well, actually, what is the video?
I don't have a video.
No. What is you said the 5G and the airplane thing?
Yeah, I don't have a video.
No. I'm sorry. I thought you said a video. But what was the story? To make sure we're tracking the same one.
So the story, it's the, so 5G operates in the same band, frequency band, as the radar altimeter that are in these airplanes.
Yeah.
And so the radar altimeter has a send and receive, and they basically shoot it straight to the ground. They're about 8 inches apart. It hits the ground. That signal comes back up, and it's done by wheel depth. So when the plane's sitting on the ground with the wheels down, that's 0. So when they shoot down and it shoots back up, it tells them. So this 5G thing, they're in the same band as that, and they're worried that it will fuzz it. But no one's really tested it. But here's my thing. It operates on a frequency that's so specific that it would block out all that noise anyway. So it's going to, if it's looking for, say, 1.11111, if it comes down and comes back up, it's only looking for that. So if the 5G towers were pushing out too much power for that, it would fizzle it a little. So it may be spotty, but it wouldn't completely wipe it out unless you were landing on top of a 5G antenna, which there are none in the runway.
Yeah.
So I think that it's kind of I think it's a little blown out of proportion. However, I think there's a ton of money, and we offer services to block that band from coming into this airfield space, which could be done with Dukes, stuff that already exists. So I was talking to a pilot today, that guy, our pilot. I was talking to him about it, and he was explaining, and I was like, yeah, and we were going back and forth, and he was like, I think you're right. I think that it really doesn't matter, but you could build something that would just block the signal and then make a shit ton of money because it doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter anyway. It's not going to affect it.
What you have is a small risk that the government has to be 100% sure is either remediated
Yep.
or they've done their due diligence. And so, without getting into particulars, there are companies who are doing white papers and research
Yeah.
and technical testing to prove or disprove all these things. And how serious some of them are taking it is
Too much, right?
borderline comical.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
It's borderline comical until you realize how serious they think it is.
Because I haven't looked
And I'm not
into
saying
it
that-
at all.
that-
This was just...
I'm not saying the FAA safety is not real,
Yeah, I
but
gotcha.
part of the stuff that I do is actual transportation, mostly automotive, like vehicle, cybersecurity. So understanding critical infrastructure and the security related to some of those things. And when I see how much people take things that are serious, not very serious, but then blow this out of proportion,
Yep.
it tells me that there is
The media's involved. That's what it tells me.
there's money to be made somewhere by somebody.
Yeah.
There are careers to be advanced by someone hanging their hat on this project or this
Yeah.
report that
This will be my thing.
I made this safe now. You may all deploy 5G and fly freely.
Yeah.
You know, someone's going to hang their hat at the, government GS, whatever, SES level and go to then go work wherever. And then some companies are going to find some ways to make money off of it. And that's what I see out of it.
Well, here's the thing that I thought of. So a lot of my background is based on the technology that I'm talking about, that AT&T
Mm-hmm.
and like that type of radio frequencies. I don't really do much with radar frequencies, so I don't
Right.
know them as well, but the principles are the same. So if I were to tell you that airplane manufacturers are like, hey, cell phones are going to ruin our stuff, and then the cell phone company was like, no, it's not. Who are you going to believe? Who do you think knows more about cell phone radio waves and the things that they're pushing out into the ether? I think the cell phone company probably knows, knows better. You would think.
You would say the same about pharmaceutical companies, though, wouldn't you?
It's a fairly true statement.
It's just I guess my point is
Yeah.
that everyone has an angle they're
That's
trying
true.
to, Verizon and all these folks, they want to put, and the people who are making the chips and the technology, they want 5G to roll out. The last thing
Yeah.
they want is
It's out. I got 5G in Florida.
No,
5GE.
What I'm saying is the expansion, right?
Yeah.
Like the last thing they want, they're looking at their phased expansion and they see the added, because if you don't understand the technological like things that once 5G is everywhere and it allows the connection of things, and vehicles start to create mesh networks amongst themselves and all these other things.
It's like Nikola Tesla's idea of energy is now about to be implemented with,
and they want to get to that
Wi-Fi
as
more or less.
quickly as possible
Yeah.
because the amount of information and data that they're going to glean from everybody's shit being connected is invaluable.
Exactly.
So they want to get to that as fast as possible. And so it makes me wonder if pilots aren't going, hey, we're having issues, and people aren't trying to sweep it under the rug the same way doctors may or may not have been.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just when there's money involved, especially something like that, I always take a step back and go, I don't actually believe either you motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I haven't done the math.
You have an agenda. You have an agenda. It's just it's hard to say. But do I believe that it's probably being blown out of proportion? Probably, and it's especially annoying from a professional perspective when I see so much money being dumped into things like that.
Yeah,
Yet we have
dude.
organizations that can't even patch and test
I
on a
know.
regular basis and in a regular cycle. It's like
True vulnerability somewhere, and they can't add funding to put bodies in
Right.
seats that we need. But we're going to spend all this money on can't have cell phone towers within 2 kilometers of an airport. Okay.
we have tons of issues that DHS and the DoD have identified in terms of our
Well, that's not gonna
cyber workforce and
Yeah.
but 5G.
Does yours smell like coffee? Mine smells like coffee.
Oh, weird. Yours
Isn't that
does.
strange?
I get that a little bit, but not as strong as yours.
I did 2 drops of water.
Oh man.
See if it tastes like coffee. A little bit, dude. A little bit.
Yeah, might be a good pairing with a cigar then.
It finishes like coffee. You know what? I don't know.
You are drinking that, maybe. I don't know.
All right. We went way off.
That's all right. Sorry, folks, but I'm not sorry.
Oh, before we... Yeah, go ahead. No.
What do you want to do?
No, I was going to say that JRE, Joe Rogan Experience, he's been on the news with misinformation again.
Oh, has he?
And this one I heard with my live earballs.
Okay.
I heard him say it out of his mouth.
What does it smell
And
like?
I went, no, that is not true.
Oh, what do you say?
All right. What do you think the topic was? Actually, don't. Here's the topic. Joe Rogan was drinking whiskey.
Oh no.
You thought I was going to go somewhere else, but no, it's
I
whiskey.
did, of course.
So he's drinking whiskey, or so did everybody else. He was drinking whiskey, and he, I think he was with Carrot Top is what episode it was. And the guy, like he had given him something. He's like, no, try this Buffalo Trace stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, this is bourbon, bro. This is bourbon. This is the best bourbon. Right. And I'm listening. I'm like, go ahead, keep.
Please.
So he hands it to him, and he's like, well, what is bourbon? He's like, dude, bourbon it's whiskey, but it's Kentucky's version of whiskey. And I was like, no, don't say that. I wanted to, but I thought he needs to have somebody on there to really explain, because he says the wrong stuff all the time. And just so in case you don't know,
just give him our class on the show.
That'll happen.
We have to make it. We have
that would never
to
happen.
put it into the universe.
Okay, we'll put it in the universe. Joe Rogan, if you're listening, we're going to teach you what bourbon is. No, so for those of you at home, bourbon can be made anywhere in the United States, but it has to be made in America. There's the ABCs of bourbon. We've discussed it many, many, many times.
And bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
Right. And it has nothing to do with Kentucky.
No.
However, the mass majority of bourbon is made in Kentucky. That's why there's this misconception. My beard is out of control. I missed my barber appointment.
Yeah, so did I.
Well, she got COVID. It was the same barber.
Oh, she got COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, when is she back?
I don't know.
Better be by Friday.
I mean, they called me the morning of. I was brushing my teeth.
Today?
No, it's last Wednesday.
Oh, she should be back by now. The new standards.
Yeah. It's only 5 days now.
Yeah.
I was brushing my teeth, and she was like, excuse me. It wasn't. I keep trying to hide them. I need to let them flow. Sorry, I keep robbing you off good burps. It wasn't her. The shop called me.
Oh, okay.
And I was brushing my teeth. It was like 6:30 in the morning.
Like, damn.
Yeah. And I was like, hello? I mean, because it said, I'm not going to say the name of it. It said the place. And so I'm like, brushing my teeth. Oh. And she's like, we have to cancel your appointment. And I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, okay. And she's like, she got exposed. I'm like,
oh no.
I'm like, okay. And she's like, we're trying to be safe. I was like, no. It was like drool and spit. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm brushing my teeth. So like, thanks. I'll, just let
what
me
a
know.
weird interaction.
Tell her to call me when she's free. I'm not sitting here like mad that she's not coming in. I don't care. I got you.
I bet you they have assholes that are like,
of course
I've been waiting because it's hard to get an appointment there.
I know. That's why I'm worried I'm at a cycle now.
The last time I got my haircut and beard trim was before Christmas.
Really? You're definitely out of cycle.
The last time I was supposed to go was the day we went to get barrels, and I had to miss it. And by the way, when you miss your appointment here, you got to pay for it still. So I had to pay for a haircut I didn't get.
I don't. But I've been going there like 6 years. And the ladies love me.
Okay, whatever.
But yeah, you do have to pay if you don't go, and it's hard to get back in. But I'm on a 3-week cycle. I definitely can't go I can't go 6 weeks between.
Well, I had gone 3, and it's been 5, almost 6. And when we were talking this morning, and we were deciding who's doing my plug of the week was going to be
them
because I haven't been in my beard and like.
Let's do a double plug. Do a double plug.
It's time for the plug of the week.
First ever double plug.
Double plug of the week. Bailey, coming to the stage.
That's not nice.
No, I'm just kidding. We love her. Bailey, the Barber and Shave Shop, West Ashley in Charleston.
Check them out.
Check them out. You live in the Charleston area and you need a haircut. But if you need a beard trim, 100%. We've been all over town, everywhere you can go, and Bailey is the shit. Everybody there is the shit. I love everybody.
Yeah, I do. So that's a good spot. That's a good spot to go to.
Yeah.
So we talked about lessons learned for last year.
Yeah.
What is 1 or 2 goals that you have for this year?
I think the
Hunting related.
lessons learned are also the goal, but I texted Kenneth yesterday, and I was like, bro, if you got some shit bags that aren't paying, I'll come pick a name off the board.
What do you say?
He didn't reply.
Oh.
So I'm guessing.
They don't do that.
No, they do.
Oh, okay.
I'm just guessing that there's nobody left.
I saw a picture on Facebook they posted the other day, like full freezer.
Andy sent it to me, and they'll go fast. That when they post that, it's all the people that know.
Is that the like read between the lines?
Yeah.
Come and get this now.
Because obviously it's not their deer. That they can't give it away.
I know that for next time now.
Yeah. Just go in there and pick a name. But that's something that probably happens at your local processor. Little inside scoop. If you need deer meat, if you didn't get a good deer this year, or you just want more, you can go with a local processor. They'll have an overdue board, unless they charge before. Most of them don't. Mm-hmm. They'll have an overdue board, and just go in there and look at the got you one. Go in there and look at the overdue board. Appreciate it. That was actually pretty weak. And I almost puked right there. Also, I've had 0 Adderall today.
Oh.
Go look at the overview board, and then you can just pick a name. Be like, yeah, Mr. Jacobs, I'm here to pick up his deer. And just give them a smile, and they'll be like, okay. Because they want it gone. They don't want to sit in there. Those freezers only run during the winter.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're trying to get those freezers cut off.
Because they're expensive.
I
It's
bet.
a huge meat room, right? Yeah. So once it becomes January 15th, it's like, hey, we're not 15 days past season, which means we're probably at least
And for most of those,
7
you're
days.
probably a month or two past picking their shit up because they get stacked up fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the pandemic happened, they actually had to turn people away because the freezer was too full.
Yep.
People had more time on their hands and were out hunting. Their freezers got stacked, slammed full.
Also, if you pay cash, they'll never know who you were anyway. So
it's true.
So you could actually go in there any day and steal someone's deer. I lost my ticket.
Maybe they won't give it to you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways.
All right, let's hit this next thing.
Random fact of the week.
Thank you so much. That was very pleasant.
Appreciate it.
So today's random fact of the week is about, I don't like reading off paper, but I had to for some of this stuff. It is about the Megaloceros giganteus.
This sounds long.
Also called the Irish deer or Irish elk.
Oh, cool.
So this is are you familiar with it at all?
No.
Okay. So it's an extinct species of deer, but it's the largest to ever walk the earth.
Oh, before you go any further, I read something that 99.6% of all living species on this planet ever are extinct.
Extinct, yeah.
It's crazy.
It's wild.
99.6%.
Yeah. Extinct species of deer, largest ever to have lived. So its range extended across Eurasia during the Pleistocene era, from like Ireland all the way into like Russia and all kinds of, it was all over the place.
There were humans in that area. There were Neanderthals in that area as well.
Yes. So I did some more digging, and experts gave this really ridiculous, dude, this range is ridiculous. So they existed and lived from, they believe, 2.5 million to 1100 basically years ago. That's the range they give them for having existed.
It's a long range.
That's I mean, look at the shit that's happened on Earth in the last 200 years. And they're like,
the shit that's happened on Earth had 2 years.
Roughly 2.5 million to 1100, somewhere in there. I'm like, who's this? Who's the asshole scientist that was like, that's fine.
And that's why people don't believe that the Earth's that old, because like they can't narrow down fucking a million years.
Well, the most recent remains have been carbon dated to about 7,700 years ago, and those were found in Western Russia. It stood, check this out, at the shoulders, 6 feet 11 inches.
Wow.
That's how high the shoulders were. So
that'll feed a family.
Dude, the spread on its antlers were 12 feet from tip to tip, and the antlers themselves weighed 88 pounds.
Jesus.
And a male, they estimate, would have weighed up to 1,500 pounds.
Dude,
these are some pictures and comparisons that were put together. I can send you those pictures to put on these. But
damn, compared to an elk, did it have like elk paddles like that?
No, well,
they don't know.
It's like this mixture of an elk and moose because it has the big fat paddle.
I meant moose paddles. It had the moose paddles like that. Yeah.
Oh, I just heard paddles. Yeah. I heard elk. I didn't hear you say paddles. So yeah, it has those weird offshoots, just like an elk or a moose does, but they're longer, and then it has those paddles. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine sitting in a tree stand? This big motherfucker walks up and he's just like smelling your shoe. What's up?
Yeah, because you're 15 feet in a tree, and
he's poking you with his paddles.
At the shoulders, it's 7, almost 7 feet, and so it's got another 5.
Yeah.
If it gets on its hind legs or reaches up to smell, it's going to get another 5 feet.
I wonder how many humans those things killed. I bet you a lot.
Dude, I thought about how many humans it could have killed, but also like how many villages were able to kill a couple of those, like in parts of Russia and shit like that, and sustain themselves for a year.
Yeah, definitely. Especially for eating all of it.
But it makes me wonder. They estimate that a bull or a buck in its prime would have been upwards of 1,500 pounds.
Wow.
So
1,500 pounds.
It's the second closest to have lived in history is another form of the moose, and it's still bigger than that.
Could you imagine how easy it would, like today, you get like 60 yards with a compound bow, how big that target would be?
Bro,
the heart, does it say how big the heart was?
No, I didn't go into all the biology. I'd love to find if they have more information about the biology of it, how it was made.
The size of an 8-year-old boy.
Size of a whiskey barrel.
Could be the size of a whiskey barrel,
Yeah.
I bet you his lungs and heart together were the size of a whiskey barrel, for sure.
Something that probably was definitely hunted with spears, just because it's a big target, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very interesting. I thought I was poking around interesting deer facts and came across, and I remember seeing this before because I believe Jim Shockey has property in Alaska, and up in Alaska he has this like natural resources. I forget what he calls it, but it's a museum that he's curating by finding fossils and hunts that he's done. He brings everything there, and it's like a natural history sort of museum that he's putting together.
Is there something on that? I think I just saw something on that.
There might be, but I want to say he has a set of these paddles or antlers or like skeleton fossil. that he was found and he paid to have it procured to bring to his museum. And that's where I saw when I saw Irish elk, I was like, oh, those are huge. And I got to reading about it again, and it started bringing everything back. And I just thought about our hunting elk in Colorado and seeing those things like
seeing elk
trot through. And I was like, man, that's a big animal. But then to imagine that.
Like what's a mountain in Russia? I can't think of one, but like it could climb like if it was, K2. I know that's not in Russia. Calm down. But if it got up to the base of K2 and was like, let me go check out the top here.
Gallop twice.
Yeah, like 45 minutes to the top.
Mount
Vladimir. There's a Mount Vladimir in Russia. Now I have to look.
So anyways, that is the random fact of the week, that there used to be this gigantic elk or deer, same family, that stood almost 7 foot tall with 15 or 12 foot from tip to tip span, antlers, paddles. Is there?
What do you think it's called? The full name?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably the highest mountain, the biggest mountain.
It is called Vladimir Putin Peak. So they didn't even play around. They're like, he gets the whole thing. But it's some kind of mountain range, and the Tian Shan system, located in the Choi region of Kyrgyzstan. It was named in 2011 after the second president of the Russian. He's the second president.
Yeah, but he's
been president for like 40 years.
Yeah, but they vote and everything, and it's legit.
Yeah, I saw. They use pretty cool voting machines.
Yeah, the same ones that they used in Argentina and here. And I'm sorry.
Did they use those?
I don't know. That's what I hear. Anyways, do you want to talk about this thing, this down here that you're doing?
Yeah.
Or I didn't know if you wanted to. I know you mentioned it.
Yeah, why not?
I didn't know how far along you were in that planning process.
No, it's done. It's been, I started planning this November.
Oh, okay.
So we got a comment on, I don't remember where and I don't remember who, so I apologize, but somebody commented and said that we needed to get together with Highwire Distilling. And I thought, yeah, that'd be cool. So it's a local thing. They're downtown Charleston. They make Johnny Red. You don't like that?
No, man. It's not good.
Or Jimmy Redcorn, Jonny Drum. They make Jimmy Redcorn, which we've had before. It's Red Corn's very cool. If you don't know anything about it, you should go look up Red Corn. It's a fascinating story, which is a pretty big thing here. Got you another one. All right, I missed the last one. I apologize. Wow. Hey, there we go. So I read that and I was like, oh, cool. And then I think it was on a YouTube video. Somebody else said something about Highwire Distilling. Like, since you're in Charleston, you guys should go get the guy from Highwire Distilling on our podcast. So I don't know if we've known about it for a long time. We're drinking a long time.
Yeah.
But I don't know if maybe they're growing in popularity now.
Could be.
And so people from not Charleston, they just see Charleston and they think Highwire Distilling.
Yeah.
But it was at least 5 people.
Cool.
Over the course of like 30 days maybe.
Does Highwire have anything to do with the wires that hold up the bridge?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea. But I've always wanted to go there.
Yeah.
So I reached out. His name's Scott. So I reached out to them on Instagram and I was like, hey, it's weird. People keep telling us to come hang out. Like, they want to hear from Highwire Distilling. And so I reached out and somebody replied and was like, here's Scott the owner
Yeah.
or co-owner, something like that. Here's his email, reach out. And so I did. I just, I sent him an email, said, hey, basically the thing that I just said. And he was like, I'd love to talk to you guys. So we have a private tour coming up in a couple weeks, I think. And then depending on how the tour goes, if we mesh well, we're going to invite him on the podcast, and I'm sure we will mesh well. But we're going to invite him on the podcast and then talk about how we're distilling. But I want to shoot a little bit there, and it'd just be cool to go on a closed tour where we can ask questions and take time to film the things we want to film. Yeah. You know, and we can use it in other videos, and I think it'd be fun. So I'm pretty excited about that. There's a bunch of distilleries here. Yeah. And like I've thrown my hat in the ring at them. I'll show up and be like, hey, and I'll just mention. But if you think about it, I don't go in there and go whiskey and whitetail. I don't go in there and like, we have a company that showcases this stuff and community outreach. I don't do any of that, which I probably should.
It's exhausting.
It is, man. I don't want to talk about it. I feel like I'm like, you know what I mean? It's just like.
It just gets, I mean, we sound like we're whining, but it's like being turned on. The business turned on every time you leave the house all the time. Annoying. It's
sometimes exhausting. I just want to go do stuff, you know? I don't want to do it from an angle.
Yeah, the other day I had the hoodie on, and so I was like, hey man, really like that hoodie. It was an opportunity to go, hey, thanks, you know,
check us out.
I was like, thanks. I just kept walking. I just was tired. Did not have the energy to fucking do it.
I don't do it either, dude. Yeah, I hide. It's not like we're famous or anything. It's not any of that. It's like I'm tired of being whiskey and whitetails all the time.
He's famous.
I was famous before I got here. That's how I made my trillions of debt. You think a human?
You in America.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think I could have trillions of dollars in debt? No. Like why? Because I don't have subjects below me that are going to pay it for me. That's the reason I can't.
You have to have children. I have subjects.
So you could be trillions of dollars.
You have to make your own people and rule them.
Then you can have trillions of dollars in debt. I was trying to figure out how to do it because I could do a lot with $1 trillion. Dude, think about how much shit I could do.
And then once you get that far in debt, who expects you to pay it back?
It's not happening. There's nobody way. If you're $1 billion in debt, I don't think that's getting paid back either. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot.
Even if you're like, look, dude, I got 300 million people to live in half the country. I could tax them all 1% more, and I'll just take all that 1%. And I'll just push it to you and pay the debt off. That's at least $1 trillion.
You know, I saw the math somewhere. I don't remember all of it, what it was, but it basically broke down. If they just legalized a bunch of shit that's illegal and tax it at the same rate that they do like tobacco and alcohol, what the estimated sales were and the revenue from taxes over the next like 5 to 10 years, huge dent in that.
Well, think about all the if you quit making. It's one thing people are like that. If you are trying to get a law passed, I am the wrong person to come to. I don't care what the law is. I am not in favor of any more laws. I think we have enough. I think we have too many.
Few, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm never into fixing a problem through legislation. But if you were to get rid of some laws, especially like the drug stuff, think about how much. I mean, there would be unfortunate, whatever, but those people were going to do the drugs anyway. The crime was going to happen anyway. But if you think about all the offshoots of it, like the crime and the sale and trafficking of drugs, the amount of tax dollars revenue that we could use to fix the roads. You ever been to South Carolina? You ever driven on a road in the state?
Yeah, the state ought to be paying me for road maintenance.
Rough.
Or for vehicle maintenance.
We get free windshields. Because that's how bad, because the trucks pick up rocks because there's insurance companies everywhere.
I'm sure insurance companies are like, you get 2 a year or something like that. Like, here you go.
Have you ever heard of that? You get free windshields here. That's how bad our roads are. It's insane. But we're all like, well, at least I'm going to pay for it. Yeah, but think about the tires, how many blowouts. I mean, how many times has my wife's car's tire blown out in the past 3 years?
5 at least.
Because every time it happens, I text you. I'm like, this motherfucker.
It's once or twice a year.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
And it can never happen on like a day where you're just like.
No, I was going to Gibby's. I was going to his Christmas party, and it blew out on the way to his Christmas party. And I had to text him and be like, can't make it because I'm on the side of the road with a flat tire. You think he believed me? No. It's a true story. I was on the side of the road with a flat tire, New Year's Eve.
You should have
Christmas Eve.
Showed up late.
Dude, it was like 11 before I got to the got the tire patch and everything. Because it's nothing was open, so I had to go do the thing myself, and
you did good. Proud of you.
All right. Well, I had a great day at work, and I sous vide some pork last night. I'm gonna go home and chop it up, make some pork tacos.
Yeah, we're having tacos tonight.
Are you?
Yeah.
Nice, dude. Sous vide pork tacos?
No venison pork tacos from the deer. The one deer I did manage to kill.
I really wish.
We're rationing that out though. I told the wife, like, hey,
Yeah.
Don't go ham on the venison. I want to have some of it to enjoy through the summer.
I know. I really wish Kenneth would have been like, yeah, come on by.
You know what I was thinking about the other day? Because we were talking to the gentleman in Texas, and when his season ends and when our season starts, if we could arrange a hunt a month in various places, we could hunt from August to February. Hunt whitetails from August to February every year.
Yep. Which is crazy. Well, that's what's funny. I think he said something about he's like, their season, they only have like 3 months to hunt or something.
Yeah.
But it's because it's a ranch. Like they get special permit and use tags that run through the end of February. That's insane. You could kill an antlerless antler. I wonder if they can, I'm sure they do it differently, right? It would still be a buck tag.
Yeah, but also in certain parts of the country, like they just drop their antlers later. So they may still be walking around with their antlers.
Solid point. Yeah.
Because like I see pictures all the time in December in like real cold areas, and drop bucks shaking their head and antlers fall off. But then around here, sometimes it's not until January. Yeah. I've been hunting on Youth Day, first week of January, and deer still walking around with headgear. So who knows?
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. Very true. All right, well, I think that about does her.
Agree. Thanks for hanging out, folks.
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks for coming with us. Check out all our stuff, and then leave a comment below if there's a topic that we didn't hit today that you wish we would have hit. I mean, we were all over the place. You know what? Other thing too, I looked at. I stay pretty up on our algorithms, and all the episodes that I label as like, this was all over the place. This was not a topic. We were just all over the place. Those episodes tend to do better than topic-driven episodes.
Conversation.
I think that's what it is. I think it's just.
So we got to figure out how to take the conversation, take the topics, and make them more conversational.
Well, the problem is we try to stay whiskey and whitetails, and it's really hard to have a ton of conversations that are. I mean, we covered airport, cell phone towers. I mean, we covered all kinds of stuff here.
We did. That's just the way our conversations go. That's how we talk. That's how. That's organic for how we discuss things.
Yeah.
Take a road trip with us, and we'll start. We'll start one topic as we're leaving Charleston. We'll hit 50 other topics and finish the topic we started with in 30 minutes from where we got to go, and it was a 4-hour drive.
I convinced myself that we were going to be the USS of A like really soon.
Did you?
Like, remember that?
That was a deep conversation.
It was a 13-hour day. And when we go get barrels, it's a 13-hour day. 13-hour work day.
And God forbid he's had a bang and an Adderall and a coffee by the time he picks me up.
If I drink a pot of coffee and an Adderall, I am unconsolable. You cannot stop me.
Dude, that 13 hours is... It's a lot.
I'm prescribed Adderall, by the way. I'm not illegally taking it.
No.
I just wanted... Somebody's like, he's a drug addict. I'm like, no.
I see him chew them. He takes Skittles.
Yep.
Just kidding.
I just eat them. 20 mils at a time.
He's a responsible adult, folks. He has a job.
Dude, I get 30 pills a month. I may use 10, 15.
Sell the rest to kids in the neighborhood.
That's exactly what I do. The younger, the better. Like, you seem a little... Quit playing in my fucking yard here taking Adderall. Because then they're focused and they start doing math right there in the driveway. They're just like 1, 2, 5 plus 6, you know. I'm telling you. That's what Adderall does. It makes you pay attention. All right, I'm done.
Okay.